Dragon Age: The Veilguard was a game that left most RPG fans fairly disappointed.
God damn!
Okay, it wasn't what we expected. It wasn't what we wanted. It's not what we anticipated it to be, other than maybe the year leading up to its release. It was everything probably you would think is wrong with modern gaming today. Okay, it was a game that was in its first iterations of being conceived, was supposed to be a live service game, and then there was a little battle behind closed doors that convinced them to make it a single player game. And then there's all of these colorful, feminine, just soft, Alice in Wonderland looking ass color scheme that has nothing to do with the Dragon Age franchise. That was just put on display and people were put off by it, flat out. And then you couple that with the trans allegory leading up to the game and ultimately being into the story that people absolutely despise in all forms of entertainment right now, because it's not about despising trans people in general. It's about knowing that that shit is psychotic, okay, and knowing that it's not right. And then you have a system that is trying to push this propaganda to make people become normal or more accepting of the normality of trans people being out here. And it's no coincidence that there's been this hyper jump in, I guess, trans identification in the last 5 or so years because of social media. All right. And that's the reason why people didn't like that. So when Dragon Age came out, it came as a surprise to nobody that it flopped. Now, there is a degree of, there's this bubble forming of people talking negatively about the game. And so that participated in its bad sales. But it's every consumer's right in every single industry to do that. Okay. If a new iPhone is about to drop and people catch wind of some of its features, and there's this conversation bubbling up about it being a waste of money, and people buy it less because of that, it's well within the consumer's right to do that. The same way with the conversation about Cabrutus Rambo, who started the Curator Group to inform gamers on which games are involved with Sweet Baby Inc., giving a list of games that people who don't want to be involved with that company to avoid. It's a consumer's right to do this. So I'm floored by this idea that a voice actor for Dragon Age was devastated over the backlash. I'm sorry, devastated over the backlash. Okay.
Oh my God!
And said that people wanted to see it fail. Okay. All right. This is coming from Pirate Nation. They said on Twitter, Dragon Age: The Veilguard actress thinks it failed because people just wanted to see BioWare fail. Now, let's break that down. Okay. Or no. Let's not break it down. Let's give her an opportunity to speak first, and we'll get to her comments. So, Dragon Age: The Veilguard star absolutely devastated over the backlash, says people wanted to see it fail. And let's go to some of her comments. Okay. So, this is what she has to say. First of all, this is her name, Alex Wilton Reagan. Let's look her up. Let's see. So here she is. You can see what she looks like right here. I got to be honest with you. She don't look that bad. I know. Gotta throw that out there. Yeah.
Let me suck them titties, baby. Oh, yeah. Let me suck them titties, baby. Let me suck them titties, baby.
Well, I guess it depends on what angle you get her from. I don't know. She doesn't look half bad. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might say she got DEI chin. I don't know. But anyway, let's get back to it. So this is what she had to say. Hey, trans, queer, non-binary friends. Or these are things that she said in the past, I assume. You matter, and I'm sorry it's such a shitty, scary, oppressive time for you all right now, but you've always been here. You always will be here. The biggest come and go over the years. The important thing is you remain here exactly as you are. Okay? Expanding this to also include intersex, genderqueer, gender fluid, agender. Can anybody explain to me what the hell agender is? The fuck?
My leg!
What the hell is that?
Lord Jesus.
These people get sicker and sicker every single day. Okay? For the avoidance of doubt, you are all welcomed and wanted here. Okay? And you know, here's another comment. Can we say the quiet part out loud? Musk is clearly not a well man, is he? Obviously, there's much to deplore in many of these overstuffed oligarchs, but Musk strikes me, as a more volatile, desperate to be liked, narcissistic, broken, erratic, immoral, amoral, etc. than the rest. Thoughts? And so that kind of gives you an idea of who she is. So let's get into some of the comments that she made. This is from IGN. We're not gonna get into all of the stuff that IGN wrote, but here's some of the quotes. She says, "I feel absolutely devastated for BioWare as a studio that they got such mixed reactions to the game. Mixed.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying."
I get tired of stuff coming out and there's like a overwhelmingly negative. So, or it doesn't even have to be an overwhelmingly negative. It can be positive or negative. Either way, the entire audience is feeling one way about the game, and then these people come out and they say mixed. It's that toxic positivity shit where they try to spin anything negative into something either not so bad or something positive. It wasn't mixed. Everybody hated the game. Fuck out of here. Okay? Fuck out of here. Anyway, she continues. I personally thought it was a really strong game. I thought it was just BioWare being more BioWare. How much y'all want to bet she didn't even play the fucking game? I bet any amount of money she didn't play the game. I would bet any amount of money she did not play this game. Okay? I'm just saying. But whatever. Let's continue. This is what IGN had to say. At launch, the Veilguard was review bombed online. You just can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. That's all they can ever say. Oh, it was review bombed. Dude, shut up.
God damn it.
You just can't make it up.
Make this shit up.
You can't make it up. They're going to say that every time. Any criticism of any game, it's review bombed. It wasn't review bombed, bitch. Nobody liked the game. That's why it didn't sell well. Criticism of the game being woke centered on its inclusion of non-binary companion character and the ability for the player to choose to be transgender. On Steam, Dragon Age: The Veilguard now sits with a mixed player response with user-defined tags for the game describing it under LGBTQ+ and politics labels. People were attacking. This is what she had to say. People were attacking the game before it was released. Wilton Reagan continued, "It's ridiculous. How can you judge a game, a book, a film, a TV show before it's actually released? You can't. It's an idiotic stance to take." First of all, bitch, shut up. You're lying. Shut up. You're lying. The entire reason you put out trailers, motherfucker, is to get people interested in the game. Therefore, I can judge anything before it release. Does it sound like, does it look like, does it feel like something that I want to play? Or watch, or read? What are you talking about? The hell? No, your stance is an idiotic stance to take. What the fuck do you mean? That's what that's what a trailer is about. That's what marketing is about. They give you an idea of what the final product would be to get you interested, and sometimes it doesn't get you interested. When they revealed Dragon Age: The Veilguard, nobody liked it. Not the color scheme, not the art style, not the gameplay, not the story, or what you were advertising the story to be. What? This is asinine. They say in January, publisher EA said Dragon Age: The Veilguard had underperformed versus its expectations by around 50%. Just days after the game's director, Corinne Bush, confirmed she was leaving the company. Meanwhile, other BioWare staff who worked on the game were laid off. In the same month, BioWare signaled it had released its final update for the Dragon Age: The Veilguard with no further content announced or expected. She goes, "I only ever wanted to see the folks from BioWare thrive because I adore them," Reagan concluded. "And whatever they go on to do next, I have no doubt their talents will be richly rewarded. We're really lucky we'll get more gold from them in the future." Once again, this bitch lying. Okay. First of all, a lot of you creators are biased because you know the people at these companies. these studios, and so that you're biased in favor of them. Of course you want to see them doing well. You know them, but guess what, bitch? We don't know them, and we could give a flying fuck. The only thing I want to know is this game worth my $70? And if it's not, I'm gonna roast your ass into oblivion. We finished Dragon Age: The Veilguard. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. You can also come over here to this article from PC Gamer, right? Who echoes some of the same sentiments. This is from a former Dragon Age writer. They're talking about gamers. So once again, attacking gamers, per usual. He says, they're very determined suddenly to see your game fail. Former Dragon Age writer calls out anti-fans who bet on games failing before launch. Talking about us. Former BioWare writer Dragon Gator. Wow. What? I got to give myself the clown horn for that. Called this man Dragon Gator, and his fucking name is David Gator. Who worked on the likes of Baldur's Gate 2, Knights of the Old Republic, and the first 3 Dragon Age games, recently spoke out about an issue he dubbed anti-fans in an interview. We've seen it happen time and time again. A subset of players and content creators catch wind of some detail they don't like in a project and make it a personal mission to spend the lead up to launch bashing the game as much as humanly possible. Okay? This is what he had to say. The difficulty is if suddenly you end up with anti-fans, then they turn from what you want, fans who would go out and spread word of your game and get people interested. But if you get anti-fans, they sort of do the opposite. They're very determined suddenly to see your game fail as sort of a lesson to others who would make games of the same type, right? And that, honestly, these days, there's some element of that present in almost all fandoms, but it's always sort of been there for RPGs in particular. Okay, I don't know what he means by it's always been there for RPGs in particular, but whatever. Gator went on to explain how he's seen fandom culture exacerbate this problem. More and more fandoms are making the things that they're fans of integral to their identity. And if it's integral to their identity, anything that affects it or insults it insults them, he said. So they are so invested in making it what they imagine that, like I said, if they turn into the anti-fans, suddenly it's their personal investment in seeing that fail or seeing the developers who made that decision be punished. I find that fucking interesting that you would say something like that, because you're talking about making it our identity. Don't you motherfuckers make gender, race, and politics your entire identity? All we're telling you is to keep it out of the fucking game. And you refuse to do that. So you're goddamn right. We've turned into the anti-fan. I actually like that. Yeah, we'll be the anti-fan. Because we were fans of what you had, like Dragon Age, and then you turn it into something else. Nobody told you to turn Dragon Age: The Veilguard into a fucking trans allegory. In a fantasy epic game where that shit didn't even fucking exist. The fuck we got a fucking character in a fantasy game talking about what they identify as. Are you fucking crazy? So yeah, we spent the lead up to the game roasting it, talking shit, smacking it. Pause. So what you gonna do? You gonna do nothing about it. We're going to keep roasting you niggas because that's what you deserve. And quite frankly, whatever. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. As always, may the grift be with you. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to y'all later.
Oh, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.